And no matter how good a close game can be, sometimes you just need a good old-fashioned blowout. And that's what you got when Pittsburgh took on Cleveland. 34-7 in favor of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh continues to own this series year after year. Just, pounding Cleveland into the dust every time they face off. You know, um, Not a lot you can say. Really good game all around. Roethlisberger back on track, 4 touchdowns. You know, I think that's. I think if you just immediately glanced at his numbers, you'd probably go ballistic because of his 4 touchdowns. But if you look around, you'll see otherwise he wasn't exactly great, but he'll definitely take it after what happened last year. So he's got to be definitely happy with that. That's his career high. Not a lot of yards or completions or anything like that, but he will take it. Willie Parker had his 100. Ben kind of ended up taking all his touchdowns, but 100 yards, you'll take that. 27 carries, 109 yards. Sure. Davenport got in, tore things up a bit. They ran a couple of reverses here and there that worked out nicely. So that run game that's so important down in Pittsburgh is looking sharp once again. Every receiver you could possibly name got involved a little bit. I mean, Santonio Holmes led the team with 55 receiving yards, and Heath Miller led the team in receptions with 4, so you can kind of get an idea of how much they really passed it, but well, there you go. Everybody, doing their part to help. Ward, Holmes, Miller. So they got to be happy in that regard. And how about that Pittsburgh defense, huh? The cornerback tandem that has been much maligned as of late, Ike Taylor and Deshae Townsend, each coming up with an interception. A bunch of sacks. Let me see here. They ended up scoring 6 sacks on the Browns, coming from every direction. They forced fumbles. They held Cleveland to 7 points. So, nothing to be really unhappy about if you're a Steelers fan. Offensively, they were good. Defensively, they were good. There's nothing else to say. As for the Browns, however, it's Brady Quinn time. And I'm not going to sit here and completely blame Charlie Fry or Derek Anderson, but you might as well get Brady Quinn out there and see what he can do now. I mean, the entire offense sucked. Jamal Lewis couldn't do anything against that top run defense. Really, the only offensive player who impressed was Kellen Winslow. But, he's a monster. He's always going to impress. And part of that is my bias, but I'm a big Kellen Winslow fan. That's who I like. Defensively, they had a hard time getting pressure or stopping the run or stopping the pass. They couldn't do nothing right. It was, when the other team does everything right, you probably did everything wrong, and that's pretty much what happened here. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, Romeo. A couple years ago, the New England Patriots lost their 2 assistant coaches, Charlie Weiss and Romeo Crennel. Well, since then, Romeo Crennel has coached the Browns to some very disappointing seasons. Charlie Weiss has led 3 seasons worth of disappointing Notre Dame football, so maybe you made the wrong choice there, guys. I don't know. It's not like New England's won any Super Bowls since then. Yeah, but at least they've been a good team. I don't know if this was worth leaving one of the most recent dynasty in football history. I mean, I'm just saying this because I have something worth talking about, because I've kind of stated the obvious so far, but I respect Romeo Crennel. I think he could be a great defensive coach. I think he could even be a good head coach in the right situation, but it's time to get out of there. I think he's going to be fired before the season is over. And not because he's a bad coach, but somebody's got to go, right?